Hey everybody in 605, welcome to week number 3. So this week I'm going to quickly go over what you're going to be looking at course-wise, and then we're going to talk a little bit about online learning for K-12 students because, first things first. Looking at week 3, there is, continued reading. You're going to read chapter 10 from Bassett. Just like in weeks 1 and 2, you have your reflection journal. That's where you're going to have your initial post Thursday by midnight. Peer responses due Sunday by midnight. That is the must do for the week. And then that you're looking ahead. Your chapter 2 draft is due next week. So Thursday of week 4. And so, you can look ahead if you want. There's directions in week 4, but the idea is that by Thursday of week 4, you submit chapter 2 to the discussion board. That's assignment number 1. And then you're going to continue working on both chapter 2. You're going to jump into the peer review. And I also recommend you look ahead to assignment number 2, which is the peer review. That was supposed to be funny. It's been a long week. I'm going to explain why in a minute. So chapters 1 and 2 are the peer review of chapter 2, so you basically have it done. You get feedback, then you implement that feedback, and that's chapter 2. That's assignments number 1 and 2. So assignment 1 is peer review of chapter 2. Assignment number 2 is submitting chapter 2. Okay. Chapter 3, I understand assignments and chapters don't match up. Maybe just read Blackboard. It'll make more sense. Assignment number 3 is chapter 4. So that's going to be, take a look at chapter 4. It's going to be your appendices as well. It's not due until the end of week 6, but that's your reflective findings, your discussion. And that's it for week 3. So let's dig into school closures, online learning, all of the things. Depending on where you live, which county you're in particular, your school either has closed, has decided to close, or is strongly considering closing. Those are essentially the 3 options at this point. So, our school, Hillbrook School, we're in Santa Clara County. We announced last night that we will be closed starting Monday. Depending on when you watch this, Monday the 16th of March through April 3rd. So was that about 3 full weeks? And then we happen to have spring break, whatever that Monday is, the 7th perhaps of April. And then that gives us a return date of Monday, March 16th, I believe. April 16th, my goodness. April 13th. Middle of April is essentially when our school closure and our spring break end. And this is unprecedented for our school, particularly since we have, we call it junior kindergarten. It's like a TK class with 4 and 5-year-olds. And it's a lot. And so there's a few things. The first thing is actually taking a look, and you should hopefully have already read what to do in case of school closures with capstone projects and data collection. The very high-level thing I had forwarded as an announcement from Dr. Kelly Albrecht is that essentially you shouldn't have to change anything because this course is designed to be fully online. What else about that might be? So the idea is that this project, if you've been looking at previous projects or have friends or colleagues that have done this previously, there was much more hands-on action research in this project. So this project does not require you to be in a classroom or at an educational site with participants. So here's the shift. And again, all of this info is in an announcement that was sent on Friday, and depending on when you're watching this, Friday, March 13th. So if you had said you would observe participants, students, or if you were to survey participants, students, and you haven't done it, and your school is closed, the idea is to actually jump into chapter 3, remove that data collection tool, and then go with the tools that are required. So it's comparing current literature and then your own critical self-reflections. So again, right, like it's not an action research. You don't have to actually like implement something with students. So schools being closed or possibly being closed will not impact your project. That's very good news for you. It very likely could impact your teaching day, your administrative day, your educational day. It's a lot. So I am wiped out. Can you tell? It's a lot, particularly as director of technology at Hillbrook. Suddenly we are moving every student to zero face-to-face. As it turned out, though, guess what I'm doing right now? Right? Online learning. So, I mean, I could go on for 2 hours, and I won't. But the biggest thing I am doing for kind of the vision of online learning at Hillbrook School is to lead with empathy and create opportunities, not requirements, to create opportunities for synchronous connection. When you think about 5-year-olds trying to like learn how to do school, period, right? Like the thing I think and I believe they are going to need the most is being able to see their teacher. So it's a video exactly like what I'm doing to you. This is why I don't do screen recordings, right? Being able to see someone's face, to see like, dude, Bill looks tired. Yes, I do, and that's okay. Just right, there's so much more that is being communicated than just the words I am saying. Hearing my voice, seeing my face communicates a lot more than I think we give communicating with our faces credit for. They're called videos, but right, like that's what I feel is special and unique about students looking at teachers talking. There's something to be said for it, big time. That might be possibly my biggest takeaway of doing online instruction for about 10 years now, is that. And so we can talk with our younger students, kind of elementary age. They hop on a Google Hangout. It's called Google Meet now. It's very confusing. In the morning, we did a morning meeting with Responsive Classroom for a half an hour. So the teacher's going to be on every morning, 8 to 8:30. They'll send a link. We'll see how that goes. Send the link in Seesaw to our students, junior kindergarten through 4th grade. Kids will hop on, and it'll be just a check-in. How are you? And it's mostly just you can see your teacher can see you. If kids can't make it online for a number of reasons, that's fine. It's an opportunity. Then, in the middle of the day, teacher is in charge of assignments. Those get put out on Seesaw. And then at the end of the day, just like you would say, like, let's wrap up, closing meeting. The last 20 minutes of the day, so 2:40 to 3, we'll see how it goes. Again, Google Meet. Teacher hops on, students can hop on. How you doing? Do you have any questions? How can I help you? All the while, emailing students themselves or parents or whatever. And then middle school for us, it's really for us grades 5 through 8. Where it's a slightly different version, where the morning we do advisory. So developmental designs is the program we implement. Instead of that Google Meet at the beginning of the day, it's a Flipgrid prompt by advisory. So each advisor is going to have a prompt every morning, and then their, advisees will respond in Flipgrid, and that feels like a good fit for middle school. And then a new topic every day, I think. They're going to be using Google Classroom in middle school, and so each teacher, every teacher of middle school, PE teacher, art teacher, science teacher, or just all the teachers, will post whenever they teach the kids. If they see them 3 times a week, they're posting an assignment in Google Classroom. And then if you kind of hosted office hours after school, that's the way we kind of do the drop-in help. As a middle school teacher, you will hop on a Google Meet and you will be able to help students. And so you would post that to Google Classroom. Hey, if you need any help, join me here. If you want to hang out, we can hop on a Google Hangout. And so, right, so kind of community, seeing your teacher's face in each other's faces in the morning and the afternoon, and then learning and activities in the middle. That's the plan. And I've been very clear. I've had to actually, in a way like I've never done before, had to say to some teachers like, no, we're not going to share out all the many resources, and actually trying to cull it to say, you need to be on Google Meet, you need to be on either Seesaw or Google Classroom, and then middle school you have to be on Flipgrid, and lower school Flipgrid's pretty cool. And that's it. Those are the four. I built a Google Classroom and used the classwork organized by topic. 4 topics, 4 platforms they must use. And that's something that I have never done before as a director of technology. But limiting it and saying you must use these, I think will provide consistency and make it, that's still overwhelming, right? For anyone K-12 to move from face-to-face instruction to online instruction, but to make it achievable, right? To help teachers be capable. And I think so far it's worked really well. On Wednesday afternoon, we were saying we don't think we're going to close, and let's do our due diligence. Here's our learning continuity plan. Part of how we landed on those 4 is we brought in grade level leads, right? So teacher leadership into a meeting and tried to kind of plan out what a day would look like. And honestly, I've been thinking about this ever since I've been teaching online. So for the last 10 years, I've been thinking about like, what would this look like with second graders? I can't help but think that as I am now talking at you for way longer than I should in a video, but hopefully this will bring some value to you. I know it is either top of mind or it is like all you are doing right now. If your school is closed and you need extra support in any way, reach out to me. I'm inundated and overwhelmed in a very good way with all of the things that are suddenly on my plate, having every single student learning remotely. So the last thing I'll share with you is that we have been very careful as a senior leadership team not to say our school is closed. We are saying we are not doing in-person learning. Our campus is closed. Our learning is happening online. And that distinction, we've corrected people when they say, oh, well, school's closed. No, it is not, right? In-person learning is not happening right now. We have our learning continuity plan, and that's what we're doing. So with that, particularly as deadlines approach, if you find yourself struggling in a way that, right, you just lived through 580, so like you get the intensity of 580 and 605, you should have that kind of calibrated. If you know that you are overwhelmed to the point of trying to teach online because your school is closed, just loop me in as fast as possible so that we can communicate about projects, about deadlines, about all of the things. It's an unprecedented time in education, and I don't say that lightly. So hang in there. I'm thinking of you. Hopefully be thinking of me. It's a lot. So reach out with thoughts, with questions. I already said keep me in the loop. I'll say it one more time. As your school's closed and you're not sure what is happening. And just definitely be sure and read that announcement from last Friday about closures of schools and how that should not impact your ultimate capstone project. And that is all. So should I say happy week 3? Or just week 3? All right, hang in there, everybody. Bye-bye.